We see ourselves as the most dominant and intelligent species of this planet. And we have surpassed our primal instincts to a great deal. And now we have risen to a population of 7 billion and spread to every continent on this planet. And we have achieved feats that are truly out of this world, from setting foot upon the moon to exploring space and other planets. These feats are truly remarkable for a species that has only existed for a mere 200,000 years. But despite all these advancements, are we the civilized and empathetic beings we claim to be? So the word humane is derived from the qualities expected of a human. And in a nutshell, it shows us the very qualities and attributes that define human. So we, as a species, define the word humane to be able to show kindness and compassion. But in spite of all the advancements and achievements we have made in such a short space of time, we still, to this day, cannot maintain complete harmony in this world, or not even peace in this world for even a day. We wage wars against members of our own species, kill one another by our own hands, discriminate and ignore the sufferings, people, members of our own species, which occur right under our noses. So I, as a child, had not seen such suffering in Sri Lanka and was fortunate to not experience the suffering and the horrific events that plagued my country for nearly 3 decades until 5 months ago. So on the 21st of April 2019, occurred an event that shattered the peace that prevailed in this country for nearly 10 years, the Easter Sunday bombings. I personally did not witness this event, or I did not experience the pain and tragedy of those who were victims of this event. But from the fear on the faces of my friends to those who were victims of this horrific event firsthand, that spoke volumes and was enough to make me live in fear for weeks to come. Like many, I hope this event would be the last of its kind to occur in Sri Lanka. And the fact that in Sri Lanka, and for an event such as this to occur, such a horrific event in where people of all traditions, all cultures, and all faiths had coexisted with one another for centuries, and for an event on this scale of this horrificness to occur, that deeply bothered me. It seemed as if there was no hope, and such events were the inevitable. So for a while, I lived on the notion that this world was one of despair, conflict, and misery. And when I tuned in for the news, every single day, the first thing I would notice was either an ongoing conflict, a famine, or even something worse. It deeply bothered me, and it overwhelmed me that this was a world that I was one day going to have to survive in. A world of misery, despair, and conflict. This was too much to handle. And I felt that this world was full of bad and negativity. But I told myself, if this world was so much of bad and negativity, there should be some good in this world as well. And fortunately, I was right. In the weeks after the Easter Sunday bombings, people were coming together of all faiths, of all cultures, and of all traditions. They were coming together and they stood united together as one. So yes, I believe that there was hope, and I believed that it was possible for this to not happen again and for us to make progress. So I believe that we need to change a lot. And we as a species, we need to change a lot. The change has to begin with us. And to do this, we need to take many steps. And I believe that if we do not, the fact would be that we as a species will continue to stagnate, and we will continue to cause so much damage to each of us. And that would not be something to be proud of. So I believe that we have to take our time, understand each other, and empathize with one another, and comfort each other. And we must understand that we have to live with one another, coexist with one another. And to do this, we need to take our time. Yes, life is a hustle, and life has become more complex. But the fact is that we have to still act with empathy and compassion. Because if we do not, the fact is that we as humans cannot make progress. I know it is hard. I know it is sometimes very frustrating. Sometimes life for me is so hard and so difficult that I just want it over with. But we must remember that we as humans are beings gifted with brains. And what good would it do if we do not use it for the betterment of each other? We have advanced in fields such as technology. These fields are extremely complex and extremely advanced. And if we can do this in these advanced fields, why can't we do the simple things? Why can't we live in harmony with one another? Why can't we maintain peace in this world for even a day? Because we need to do this. And to do this, again, we have to change a lot. And the change has to start with all of you. I know it may seem ridiculous that how you as a single person changing for the better would make a single difference. But the fact is, if we all change, and I mean if we all change, we can stop the suffering and damage that we inflict upon each other. And this has been achieved before. For example, in the 1950s and the 1960s, in the United States of America, the actions of one single African American woman sparked a revolution. When Rosa Parks did not offer her seat to a white man, it started the civil rights movement. And it gave rights to African Americans who were once deprived of such rights. And this example is just one out of countless of others. And it shows us together if we unite, anything can be achieved, no matter what obstacles are present. We as humans are not perfect. And we do make mistakes. It is unavoidable and it is inevitable. But instead of ignoring the flaws that each of us have and making excuses for them, we must acknowledge them. We must correct them. Because if we don't, that means we have failed. And we have the ability to relate and think. This ability is unique to us. It's unique to the human race. So if we have used it to advance in highly complex fields such as technology, and if we have used it to expand in our intelligence, why can't we use it to learn to live with one another in harmony? Because if we can't, the fact would be that we as a species, as the most dominant species of this planet, cannot coexist without harming one another. So if we were to change, we would all have to change, starting by ourselves. Thank you.